Hello there, this is Yaz with you right here on Class 95's Love Songs. Now this year marks the 30th anniversary of The Body Shop. I'm sure you've heard of The Body Shop, right? And it is ranked as one of the top 30 of the most respected companies in the entire world. Now The Body Shop now serves, get this, over 77 million customers through 2,000 shops in 54 different markets in 25 different languages and across 12 time zones. Now that is wow. So it's kind of hard to imagine that just 30 years ago, The Body Shop started off as a small tiny little shop in Brighton, England by a pint-sized power-packed dynamo of a lady, and her name is Dame Anita Roddick. Now, I had the opportunity to have a nice little chat with Dame Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop, last week, and I tell you, I was floored by her passion, her kindness, her beliefs and her intellect. So first of all, I had to ask her why she started The Body Shop and how the name The Body Shop, that we've come to be very familiar with, how that name actually came about.
I think many good ideas start with dissatisfaction. Energy comes when you're mad at something, or you see something is wrong and you want to do something about it. So that was one bit. It was two things. My husband said off he wants to go, leave for 2 years, want to ride a horse from Buenos Aires in Argentina to New York. And the kids were 3 and 4 or 5. And that was his dream and that was his passion. Right. And I come from a time of the great gesture was everything. So he'd planned this. And then when he was preparing to go for this trip, I thought, right, small enterprise, small livelihood, keep us going till he come back. And then we were going to emigrate to Australia and open up a pineapple plantation. So all I was looking for was a small little livelihood for 2 years. It was only going to be away for 2 years. And then I thought, well, what? And women are good at putting together, molding what they're good at and what they're interested in and turning it into an enterprise, a livelihood. And the what really came about 5-6 years earlier when I was traveling around the world for 2 years. And most of the travels wasn't the normal way, holiday resorts, whatever. I was living in island communities, living in Polynesian, Indian Ocean islands. And everywhere I lived, and they were always with pre-industrial peoples, I gathered stories. I learned to wash my head this way. I learned to clean my body that way. Mostly using the stuff that they ate or, what was grown in their gardens. So that really stored in my brains until Gordon said off he wanted to go. And I said, well, I'll open up a little shop. And in that, I can sell all the ingredients, some of the ideas, some others. And it was a very small shop I found when I opened up. I called it The Body Shop. And in America, where they look after the car repairs, it was always called body shops. I thought that's a good idea.
Hi there, this is Yaz with you right here on Class 95's Love Songs. Now, early on, Dame Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop, told us that she started The Body Shop with one little shop in Brighton, England, as a means of a livelihood for her and her kids while her husband went on a great trip to the Americas. So, of course, I had to ask her if the purpose of opening The Body Shop was just to survive, then why open a second shop? And why did she want to start a business and be an entrepreneur?
Something to do with cheekiness. You just want to see how far it can go because you feel quite fraudulent because it's always so easy. You hadn't gone to business school, hadn't read an economic paper, didn't know what business was, financial science. It was just an idea. And so to have another little shop, not too far away. I think there's a sense of obsession that's seeing yourself push the idea and seeing how far you can go. So the second shop opened up and then Gordon came back. And really it grew it didn't really grow then, but friends of mine were saying, oh, if you can do it, I can do it. And can I have one? Yeah. And so what we did was we sold them the gallons of the product and they filled it themselves, put the round labels on themselves. And it was really very kitchen cosmetics, kitchen business for a few years. And I remember one guy coming into me in the Brighton shop when I first opened. He said to me, how far do you want to grow? How fast? And I thought, oh my gosh, 5 shops. Because that's all I could control, one shop here, and then I couldn't understand. I couldn't think of myself doing any more. So it was never the idea of, which seems the obsession today in business, is how much, how big. And never was it about wealth. And I don't know one really interesting, successful entrepreneur that is guided by ever increasing profits. So I want to say, I want to be an entrepreneur so I can be rich. No, I want to be an entrepreneur because I want to be free. I want to put my thumbprint on something. I just want to have this idea or this service or this product, and I want to do everything to make it happen. So it's really an extension of yourself, I think. It's your alter ego.
Hello there, this is Yaz with you right here on Class 95's Love Songs. Now this year marks the 30th anniversary of The Body Shop, and I had the chance to chat with Dame Anita Roddick, the amazing lady who started the Body Shop empire with just one little shop in Brighton, England. Now the 5 core values of The Body Shop are: defend human rights, protect our planet, activate self-esteem, support community trade, and against animal testing. So I asked Dame Anita, why did The Body Shop take on the commitment in promoting social and environmental change?
We were all activists. We came out of the womb, anti-war activists, civil rights activists. We were student activists. So, our ability to communicate was really about social action. And I said, having no money, it was every blank space was an ability to do a message. So fight for human rights, defend the environment. These became our window spaces. So I was always involved with movements. So bringing in groups like Amnesty to give me a real understanding about human rights, especially in business. Bringing in groups like Greenpeace, who really told me the story of what happens in the world. I mean, you don't read those stories, warnings in Forbes magazine or Fortune magazines or The Economist. That really is just displaying what works in marketing or what works in creating wealth. I wanted more knowledge than that, and I had to go to areas where the knowledge gathering was what wasn't normal, and that really fashioned an identity for us that made us authentic. It wasn't just stick on ethics. It wasn't, let's have a photogenic child in our arms and we'll fight against world poverty. It was, how do you change the practice and language of business? And I have to say, without doubt, it was the advice and the leadership, the real moral leadership of the non-government organizations that helped us.
Hi, this is Yaz with you right here on Class 95's Love Songs. Now, I had a chat with Dame Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop, and she shared with us her thoughts on the challenges faced by women today.
It's very interesting. I read a United Nations report that said it would be another 500 years before women get the same political power as men, and another 750 years on top of that before they get the same economic power. So I guess, ladies, we've got to wait 2,000 bloody years before anything happens.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. We got to be positive, right?
And women just groan and move on.
Dame Anita also shared with us a little anecdote about women.
I've read somewhere that if a woman can figure out who gets the last sweet toffee, the 3-year-old or the 5-year-old, she can negotiate any financial contract in the world.
And she had a little bit of advice for women in business.
Network. There are very informal, they must be, I can't believe that Singapore is alien to this, many informal women's networks, in terms of the same career or advice or just women mentoring each other, which we don't do well in England, but I think America does really well. Women supporting women, and really women in positions of power and influence, looking at young people coming up and putting the red dot on them and mentoring them.
Hello there, this is Yaz with you right here on Class 95's Love Songs. Now, last week I chatted with Dame Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop. Now, she is a self-styled hellraiser of the business world. She's a passionate activist who fights strongly against human rights abuses and fights for protecting animals and the environment. Now, on top of that, she is a mother, a grandmother, and of course, wife to hubby Gordon. Now, it's amazing that she's, been able to juggle all these roles. So I had to ask her, how does she keep the flame alive in her marriage?
It was never about control. So, in most relationships, there's one that stunts the other's growth. Usually those who has the economic power or the money power. It was never that for us, for Gordon and I. It was about, you explode. If you want to do something, you do it. If you want it, like he wants to go to Mongolia every year, riding horses. I can't sit on a horse without sneezing. So I want to go and work in the sweatshops. He's going somewhere else. So there's a sense of freedom within the confines of what brings you together. What brings me together and him is the love of family. Absolute love and protection of family. And I think too, it's like, if you're politically the same, and we are politically the same, we're so strong on our work in human rights. This is what we spend our life doing. And I guess what we also come together on is humor.
But then looking at that, I mean, for you and Gordon, the family was a major thing that both of you, focused on. I mean, what were your thoughts then when he decided, the reason for you opening Body Shop was to traps off and do his own thing, leaving you and the kids saddled with, the idea that you had to provide for yourself? I mean, were you not angry?
I loved it. No, I thought it was bugger off, go off and do it. No. I was going to be the most attractive woman in Little Hampton because my husband was doing something amazing. Everyone was going to invite me for dinner. What's Gordon up to now? I vicariously lived through him on that trip. I mean, when your partner says he wants to take a horse and go from Buenos Aires, which just had another junta, into Paraguay, be secreted into Paraguay by a load of nuns and a bagpipe at the end, crossing the most dangerous desert, one of a horse disappearing down a ravine. I mean, you've got to admire that. I know, it's a great gesture.
But on the other hand, it's like, what about me and the kids? Well, what if something happens to you? What about us?
Well, that's what's going to create the us, because I didn't really want to get married. I was looking for sympathetic sperm. I was 27 years old and I wanted a baby.
Right.
And he
knew, do his own thing. Okay.
But it was just by chance meeting one. My mother sort of arranged it, meeting up with a guy who was exactly as I was. He was interested in theatre. He was interested in... We measured guys in the 60s, let me tell you, on the 70s, by where they travelled and what they read. Not how much, if they've got a Porsche, not as if they've got a house somewhere. They had to be exciting and dangerous and do things that were extraordinary. And he'd been down the Amazon, a dugout canoe. I mean, he'd just done amazing things. So that was the excitement then. I guess measurement is slightly different now, but that was the excitement then.
Hello there, this is Yaz right here on Class 95's Love Songs. And last week I chatted with Dame Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop. She's a pretty funny lady, I must say. And finally, I asked Dame Anita Roddick to give us 5 words that describe who she really is.
An activist, an agitator. Am I beyond that? A really interesting grandmother. A really wise... No, my kids hated that I was a lousy mother, so I can't say good mother because they'd go, oh, get a life, Mum, you were terrible. I'm kind.
Since Body Shop is about grooming, what is your grooming philosophy?
I
don't have any.
Grooming philosophy: buy clothes that don't crease. Very good idea, that. Always polish your shoes I always end up polishing my shoes on the edge of a bed. Be clean. What's a groom? It's a strange word. Grooming. I mean, my hair's like pubic hair.
No, it's not.
It's all over the place. I think my grooming philosophy is... I have no bloody idea what my grooming philosophy is.
And what's your favorite product from The Body Shop?
Oh, I can't live without it. I mean, it's stupid to say that. I love the body butter. I love it.